Let's talk about your top 5. What's your top 5 in the heavyweight division right now?
Okay, my top 5 in the heavyweight division is mine is quite simple. And yes, Ring IQ helped me figure some things out, which was good. He helped me really just define some things.
He ain't beat nobody, bro. Ring IQ is.
I would always have someone there because of the danger and stuff like that, and just what I believe if you fought someone, it will look like. But I have to respect the 4 years of doing this pod and people not fighting each other. So now that has to come into things. It's somewhat amended. Number 1, Fury. Klitschko, I'm going by certain wins. Klitschko, and people I respect.
You don't need to do all
Klitschko,
that.
Wilder.
You don't need to do all
No,
that.
but it's important. That's important. Klitschko, Wilder. Yeah. So he remains number 1. Yeah. Number 2 has to be Usyk. Because I had I would have put my number 1 and 2 would have been AJ, well, Fury first, then AJ. So I'm getting Usyk purely for the beatdown of the guys. Well, I count the AJ ones and how the difficulty of those. Yeah. After that, it's gonna be AJ. He's taken the challenges, he stepped up. And he's won. He's a champion. He's a real champion.
He's got wins, credible wins.
Credible wins. Klitschko being one, winning your belts back from Ruiz after hitting the canvas that many times, like the mental stuff that I was getting through his mind and that, and just
when he beat
Povetkin,
Povetkin at that time had only 1 loss, and that was against Klitschko.
There you go. And being the face of what you call it. And Ja Morant can tell you how difficult being the face of a brand is. You know what I mean? And how you can easily fumble the bag at some times. So he has to be, AJ has to be number 3. After AJ.
Up to this point, our thing is the same, by the way.
Really? Yeah. After AJ,
I've got I'll let you go.
I can't put Ruiz in. Even if he beat AJ, I can't put him next because that's his mentality was disgusting. I'm gonna put Wilder. After that, I'm gonna put Wilder for holding the thing for that long. Even if he just done whatever touches and that and the other, Wilder's still being a champion. So he has to be. He's next.
And but you say that. You know what? Yeah, you say that about Ruiz, but Wilder's best win is Ortiz. Ruiz has beat Ortiz, and Ruiz has beat AJ. If we're doing resume, beating AJ for me,
resume just has to. But then if
beating AJ and Ortiz is better than any win that was on Wilder's resume.
No, but then stocks. You know when you talk about stocks going up in losses, because we did it. We've done that with so many. We've done that with AY.
I think it's good enough. I think it's good at a certain level. It's good at a certain level.
I'm saying stocks rise. Like you can lose, and
we've done that. Rise. We've done that with Craig, and Yard, right? Mm-hmm. Craig when he took Bivol the
many
distance.
fighters.
Yard when he went to war with Beterbiev, came up short by KO. Cool. If this was a unification bout, we're not doing that. We're saying you lost your belt. He won. He's the champion now. He's the undisputed champ. The stakes are different when it's at a higher level. So I do understand what we're saying in terms of, but stock can't go up if you're the champion in the fight. You're the champion in the fight. You were supposed to beat Fury because it was a pick where my man was coming from 300 and something pounds. You declined the AJ fight. You knew what you were trying to do in this fight, and you drew it when he was at his weakest. As soon as he was back on form with 2 back-to-back KOs.
But okay, and this is me doing, and this is me.
So the stocks rising.
Yeah.
No, I hate the stocks rising.
Wait, hold on. Respect this Travis that I'm gonna do. Respect this Travis that I'm gonna do because it's kind of impressive still.
Okay.
The old Travis that I know would say, "Yo, big man, that count's crazy." Yeah, because he knocked him down, and
the count was crazy. 100%.
Count was crazy. So on the cards, it should really be a rematch, and if Fury does all the work that he does in the next 2. Yeah, if it's anything to play by, because the count was still mad. You know what I mean? It was mad. Even when I go back now, that's a mad count. It's mad.
It's one of those things where it's the tragic part about the nuance that gets lost in history, innit? We're not gonna 10, 15, 20 years from now, they're going to say he knocked you out twice and then there was a draw. We're not gonna go, but the count was long though.
Oh no, sometimes we do with the
When we
boxing
do
thing.
when we do the Hergovich and Zhang thing, they're not gonna go, but
That
really you
one's
should.
different.
No,
Yeah,
they're gonna say
no,
he knocked out Joe Joyce straight
yeah,
after that.
yeah.
It's not
No, see the
gonna.
Hergovich one because it wasn't clear enough, and you have to be a true boxing guy. You understand what decision they made. With boxing, they say, you know what, he's really old. Hergovich is young. It makes more sense if they're close. Go that way. Go with the younger man. He's got a longer career in this thing. Why are we gonna go with the guy that's over the hill? It's just it doesn't keep the life sport of the thing going. It's like even when the Chisora Dillian won, and then some people will say it makes more sense business wise and boxing business wise. Give it Dillian. Yeah, I mean if it's close,
I hear what you're saying.
you know what I mean. So, but then in ones like that, in a knockdown like that, he's sleeping, bro. And then after he does the Undertaker, like, but anyway, whatever it is.
I just think it's one of those things where
you can't leave. The reason why Wilder probably had to take that fourth spot, I understand what Ruiz did. Yeah, it's professionalism. What?
Bear in mind, I've given the fourth spot to Wilder as well.
Huh?
I said, bear in mind, I've given this fourth spot to Wilder as well.
Okay, I thought you wanted to get to Ruiz.
I just want to be fair to Ruiz in the conversation.
No, but I think Ruiz could have done. You see how we have. Look where Usyk sits now. Usyk is sitting second comfortably. Why? He's professional. He done what he needed to do in the first one.
Nah, it's the wins. He beat AJ twice.
I get it, but I'm saying Ruiz took his opportunity away from himself by not training properly. The guy.
Thing is, yeah. Whilst we do say that, AJ beats him in the same way he fought him in the second fight again.
That's cool, but however, the person he can't say that to himself as of yet because he's gonna say that I was in my way. You know when you say I know fighters are all fighters are all delusional. I could imagine if I ever got to speak to Ruiz and say, Ruiz, like, do you believe if you was 100%, you would beat him? He'd probably say absolutely. Why?
But
because
it doesn't matter. My thing is this year, like. I test is coming into this as well. Ruiz is not beating AJ again unless AJ goes in and does the silly things of trying to do. Yeah. He's figured him out with that style. I'm gonna jab. It's gonna be a distance thing. Same thing he did to Franklin will be what Ruiz looks like again.
However, Ruiz couldn't get there. That's the only issue that Ruiz had because he was so out of shape. Like you can't. There's fine margins. We talk about this all the time. Really fine margins in boxing. You can't afford to leave stones unturned. And that's what he did. He left so much. He said, come to me. Are you stupid? That's not how boxing works. Who's going to do that? You're fighting. I'm talking, this is the top level. It's like when you get mad, yeah, when fighters don't make weight and they don't make weight on their own issues. No, you like your job, your first job is to make weight. So now we don't even get to praise you for making weight. That's not at this level. So I believe here that Thingy done this to himself. This is an issue of his own making. Yes, it could have looked the same. But
you know who else did that?
Who?
Roberto Duran. When Sugar Ray Leonard called the rematch after he beat him, he heard my man was living mad. Partying, put on mad weight, enjoying. He's like, book the rematch ASAP. Bro, fight was done. You don't know what that takes out of the guy. Is what it is, but it's one of those things where it is what it is, bro. It's your job to show up prepared. If you say you weren't in shape, we can only take your word for it.
That's your fault.
That doesn't mean that you aren't in shape, by the way. It just means that that's your story. You could have chose to come in at 19, 20 stone and thought that was going to be enough. It didn't work out, so now I'm not in shape. We don't know the truth. But there's a narrative that can exist now.
It was the coach though. So when the trainer comes out and says this guy is not sick, like it was. But
AJ looked good in the Usyk 2 fight.
Absolutely.
Garcia was out here, dude. He's still doing that same run of AJ's not serious. AJ this, AJ that.
Is Garcia the same guy that trained Ryan as well? Is he the same? Is this the same trainer? Wait, who trained Ryan? Because I know he fell out with Canelo's people.
Yeah, he's with Joe Goosen now. It's not the same. Robert Garcia is who he was training Mikey Garcia, his brother.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? But it's that's here not
No,
there,
but then
innit?
but then the funny thing is, obviously that relationship AJ had with Garcia just didn't work. They weren't
It weren't there.
cool. They weren't cool. They didn't
Angel being
really.
in the mix, it didn't make sense.
It didn't make sense, and probably it's easier for Garcia realizes. Well, he talks a lot anyway. He does a lot of media, right?
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But it's just. I don't know, man. Ruiz is fifth for me, but he has been he disappointed himself. He let himself down more than anything.
I'm happy to put
And he's a
Wilder.
champion.
I'm happy to put
Fourth,
Wilder at
Ruiz
4.
fifth.
I'm happy to put Wilder at 4 and Zhang 5th. Like, I do hear on, Wilder is
Hasn't been
he's
Zhang's
still
not a champion though. He hasn't been a rule.
Zhang's not a champion, no. Zhang's not a champion, no. But
It's got to mean something.
Dillian White has, on the resume thing. The resume doesn't tell the full story. That's the truth of the fact. Like, we can mention resume. We just can't not factor resume in when we are having this conversation. Because specifically Wilder gets a lot of plaudits on the what if would happen, on the vote of confidence, like Ring IQ was saying.
Yeah,
it's like he would knock him out. He would knock out Ruiz.
Wilder high up if I was going by what I think could happen, but
that's what I'm saying, and that's just nonsense. Because let's be real. Suppose he does fight these guys and doesn't land. He just doesn't pin him down. Then you lose because he loses all rounds most of the time. So for me, I'm like, it can't be the foregone. So after that, after we get out of the fantasy, we have to look at what they have done. Beating AJ is a massive name on your record.
It's huge.
After AJ, Ruiz has beat Ortiz, which is Wilder's biggest win. So realistically, there is no grounds to put Wilder ahead. However, the only reason why I would do it is that current form of watching Ruiz against Areola and the Ortiz. I'm like, no, you're more fallible than you've ever been.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
And that's what I'm saying. And bro, the expectation. You see that thing, yeah? It's always, you back in the day. I remember this pod when he said Fury can't walk in as the main, he has to be the underdog. You see, when you change and you're the face or you're this and yeah, everything is different now. So now it's like with expectation, that's a lot because you come into the ring and everyone wants to see like how Canelo's gonna walk out in Mexico. There's pressure. He just knows how to manage his pressure for Canelo, right? But I'm saying there's a lot of players, as soon as they become the guy, they're blinded by the lights, blinded by the big moment. Now, you can say Fury, like, when he's been it, because he became the champion, and he was great with it. Like, I remember him coming out, when he had the Caesar outfit and stuff. He's someone that he's not really moved by the light, to be honest, but he does want to be liked. That's all his thing is. A lot of fighters can't deal with expectation. So now you're gonna say, if you now say Ruiz, okay, you won. Well, what happens now? You're the winner. What happens with you as the main guy? Teofimo Lopez, for instance, has to go to Australia, goes there, doesn't do what he's meant to do in Australia, and he's the main guy. No one was looking at Art of War and saying you're going to be the guy to dominate the division. We thought this was just a touch, and then we keep it moving, bro. Yeah. It stopped. And that's what happens with it when expectation and all these things meet it, and then what do you do? And that's why you have to respect the man them that are professional and they keep going. So Wilder, like it or not, even if he's just making weight or just doing these things, he turns up. There is a level of professionalism. There is a thing of, I get it done. I will get it done. No matter what, when they call my name, I am going to be ready. So I put that into account. I can't leave that out of someone that has been a champion.
No, I respect it. And at the end of the day, we're talking about two champions here. You know what I'm saying? He's had the WBC belt, whilst the run of names has been very questionable. And you know what I'm saying? He still has more names and has held the belt. So you got to give respect to that. Because at the end of the day, when we look back on this in history, we're going to say he was a champion and he defended his belt X amount of times. Yeah. When we talk about AJ, he's going to be two-time unified champion. That's an accolade that you can't take away. So
when we say Jang, we're going to say what interim. He's until he does something, until he gets involved and they man see him, it's just going to be he's a good fighter. He's a sound fighter. So
we agree on
that suffers with it's that thing that I can't remember came after fought Ali, came after him. They love his
Larry Holmes.
Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes is special, but he doesn't get the full accreditation that he deserves.
No.
He just doesn't get it. Unfortunate. And it's such an unfortunate case when you're so talented and you should, but it's just.
I just feel like it's another example of why I think now more than ever, the Joe Joyce case study for modern fighters, similar to the Larry Holmes thing, is like, don't listen to the talking thing. Don't listen to the noise. The noise will have you trying to prove points to people that do not matter. Like the Twitter timeline, the takes should not be what dictates how you fight or how you move, because it's a fickle crowd. It's
the decisions you make.
Crowd.
Yeah, absolutely. And now it's mad lonely. You're on your own now. You start to realize, don't get twisted, your true core fans are still gonna back you, but bro, you're on your own, fam.
But it's that thing of like you can get tricked out your position trying to cater to the voices online.
Totally.
AJ trying to prove he's not a bodybuilder.
Oh,
tricked out of position.
Tricked out your position, fam. Getting in there and then man telling you look good when you don't.
The pivot is you've gained more boxing skills now, but also it's just one of the ones. It's like, make sure you haven't lost that first version, and then you can merge rather than losing it. And now you're this. It's just that thing. That's why I say fighters, don't listen to the noise, bro. Because 1 week Joe Joyce blasts AJ to bits, and now, he's easy to hit. He's always gonna be. It's a nightmare waiting to happen. Everyone's kind of like that was their take. It wasn't.
It wasn't no one's. It wasn't.
That's our current 5.
All right.
We move.
Yo, people, thanks for watching the Undefeated podcast. Make sure you
like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and all that good stuff, man. This is the place to be.